8:06 now. It's our fourth hour of 4 hours of morning radio brilliance. And if you missed any of it, please subscribe to the podcast and download it. It's O'Connor and Company. And when I say brilliance, I, of course, mean Julie Gunlock and the brilliance that she brings to the table. I am merely here along for the ride, as anyone who listens recognizes. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
When Michael Whatley became the chairman of the Republican National Committee, he sort of figured that the rest of this year would be all about engineering a successful presidential election along with the Trump campaign and a ton of critically important down-ticket races, including the Senate race in Virginia, and coming off of the heels of a astoundingly successful, by any modern measure, astoundingly successful Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. It looked like clear sailing all the way to Election Day. And then suddenly the earth quaked on Sunday with the unexpected, though somewhat expected, announcement from Joe Biden that he would not seek the nomination or would not accept the nomination of his party. Has this changed everything for the Republican Party? Let's bring in Michael Whatley to reflect on all of these things. Mr. Chairman, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be on with you, too.
Well, I'm told by the likes of Van Jones and Rachel Maddow that Kamala Harris is a cultural phenomenon and a superpower, and this is the game changer that Trump and Republicans are fearing most. Are you seeing it that way, too?
No, I'm not. I think that, a couple things that are worth remembering is that she did not win a single state in the 2020 primary. She did not win a single state in the 2024 primary, and she has adopted all of the same positions that Joe Biden was running on. It was the Biden-Harris administration that deconstructed the safest, most secure southern border we've ever had and allowed 10 million illegal immigrants to come across our southern border. It was the Biden-Harris administration that opened up the floodgates to inflationary spending. Kamala Harris, who actually broke the tie in the Senate for a $1.9 trillion spending package that has unleashed inflation, raised gasoline prices, raised grocery prices, and raised housing prices for every American family. And it's Kamala Harris and the Biden-Harris administration who've weakened our standing all around the world. So I think that in terms of this race, we structurally don't see any change based on the fact that she has adopted every one of Joe Biden's policy positions going into the election.
Michael Whatley, you sound like a man who wants this election to be about policies and about ideas and about facts and about records. And it looks as though the Democrats, the Harris campaign, and certainly their friends in the media, they don't want to talk about any of that. They want to talk about the iconic figure of the first African-American woman, et cetera, groundbreaking, generational changing. They're even raising the age issue with Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. I mean, that's an uphill fight. I agree. I think on the issues, on the policy, on the record, the American people will reject what Kamala Harris stands for. But will you be able to actually cut through all of the culture noise they're making around her?
Yeah, this election cycle, at the end of the day, is all about American families. It's about every single American family. And what Donald Trump did at our Republican National Convention was talk directly to the American people. We had 4 nights of programming where we heard from real Americans. We talked to every American, and we really want to set this election up about who's going to be better for the American people. And the other thing that you'll note is no politician in generations has been able to talk directly to the American people, the American voters, the way that Donald Trump has. We saw it, when he got up off the stage at the debate at the rally after being shot. We saw it at the debate against Joe Biden, and we saw it through the convention. He can talk directly to the American people. And so I have no doubt that we will be able to get our message out to every American voter, and they will be able to understand that this is an inflection point election. It's not just about the next 4 years. It's about generations to come for America and the world.
Just a note on the convention, really enjoyed it. I was at home watching it almost every night, and it was really well done. So just wanted to say that really quickly to you. But you mentioned how Donald Trump connects with people. He speaks, extemporaneously. He's so good on those stages. But now the Secret Service has recommended that he no longer hold outside rallies. What is your reaction to that advice? And do you think that that will be a problem for him, really generating interest, getting people, riled up and wanting to vote for him?
Well, obviously, safety is paramount. And I think that there's going to be a conversation between his campaign and the Secret Service that obviously we will pay a lot of attention to as we're moving forward. We cannot see what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, ever happen again to any political candidate anywhere across the country. But again, the president and his ability to directly communicate with American voters, he can go onto the digital platforms, he can go on mainstream TV, he can do the live performances. He's in North Carolina today for a rally. We're going to be up in Minnesota for a rally on Friday or Saturday, excuse me. And then he'll be all around the country. So, nobody's going to outwork him. They can talk about age all they want. But, I've been with this guy when we've been doing radio interviews at 5 a.m. Through events all the way, until after midnight. This guy works. He wakes up every single day to fight for the American people. And I just don't think that age or any of those factors are going to be a real issue.
Age wasn't an issue until Joe Biden dropped out, and now age is a major issue.
Yeah.
Chairman Michael Whatley is with us at the Republican National Convention. You said that this election is going to be about the American family, and I want that to be true too, but I think we've learned over the years that these elections are also about who gets to count the ballots and the process and procedures in validating those ballots and other election laws that Democrats tend to play fast and loose with. For instance, let's just start with the fact that this entire exchange from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris happened behind closed doors with no transparency, without one voter having a say. And now the $90+ million that Joe Biden raised to be the candidate for president is now just seamlessly handed over to a completely different candidate. Is that even legal?
We're going to find out. I think that, there are a lot of questions that are being raised about whether the campaign is able to shift gears like that. I think the fact that 14 million Democrat primary voters have just had their vote thrown in the trash can is something that is worth note. When we talk about election integrity, that is our number one priority at the RNC. And we have set up our Protect the Vote program. We've got a website, protectthevote.com, where we're encouraging 100,000 volunteers all across the country, in Maryland, in D.C., in Virginia, and everywhere else to sign up, get trained, and be deployed as election observers.
That's great.
So that we can make sure we're protecting, the sanctity of every American ballot. But when you talk about what just happened on the Democratic side of the aisle, that definitely raises a lot of questions that we're going to have answered soon.
Yep. And ultimately, I think you're right. This election will turn on the issues. And Kamala Harris is, let's face it, she's going to be running as the vice president, but she's really just another California Democrat. I mean, if people look at California and see the disaster that it is, from homelessness to the economy to the environment to trash to the schools to the latest law that allows parents to go to jail if they don't so-called affirm their child's gender, that's Kamala Harris's California. She stands by all of those policies, and I gotta think the American voter doesn't want their state Californiaized, sir.
No, they absolutely don't. And she's not just a California Democrat. She is the California Democrat.
Yeah.
I think that, her coming from San Francisco, and we've seen what has happened to San Francisco over the last 10 years, a absolutely gorgeous, kind of iconic city that has been decimated by homelessness,
right, by
poor management, run over by drug use, illegal aliens that have taken over the city. So there's a lot to unpack.
She's Gavin Newsom without the charm.
Yeah, and when you think about every issue that the voters are going to care about in this election cycle, she has adopted the Joe Biden's policies. It's the Biden-Harris administration. So, We feel very strong going into this election on the merits. The Democrats did not just have a messenger problem with Joe Biden. They had a message problem. And so the American people do not want their country to be a social experiment. They want it to be a safe haven for them to raise their families and be able to succeed. Mm-hmm. And that's what President Trump is all about, is unifying this country and securing a better future for every family.
Michael Whatley, the chairman of your Republican National Committee. Thank you, Michael. Good to talk with you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
You bet. It's 8:17. Let's